Hello everybody, Lorenzo here, episode 38 of Tylo and Eeloo. Welcome back to the orbital shipyard where we shall build something. We will grab the UI, order the Gilly Eater. Yeah, I made that. This is the simplest probe I could come up with to explore Gilly. Load it, it needs 561 rocket parts, we have 3800. Build. And now the anticlimax, it is not building. Now I checked, we have electric power, we have supplies for the Kerbals. The hydroponics bay doesn't work, doesn't have organics, but hey, that shouldn't impact rocket building, right? There's Kerbals here, doesn't matter if I shift them there. I couldn't get it to work, I tested this already. I went on the internet and turns out what's the problem? My Kerbals are too stupid. Look, I will go to the Kerbal Center, and I found somewhere in an obscure website, not even the mod owner's website, that a successful rocket building operation requires a Kerbal with 2 stars. The only one I have that has 2 stars is too stupid because it requires a medium to low stability rating in combination with 2 stars. So none of my Kerbals in space are smart enough. Well, small consolation, none of the Kerbals I have available are smart enough either. Now that same website gave me a crash course on how to get a Kerbal to 3 stars. That's orbiting the moon, landing on Minmus, going out of Kerbin's sphere of influence and then landing back on the planet. So guess what? That's what we're gonna do this episode. We're gonna grab one that's not stupid. KenLan the engineer. Super courageous, not stupid. I suppose that's good. Well, guess which ship we're gonna abuse for this? The one we have already, the one that horribly failed to land on the moon, but it should be landable on... Wait, stop it. Rolling back. It should be landable on Minmus, is what I'm trying to say. And we have 9 days to go until the launch pad is reconditioned. I was gonna think we're gonna have to do the Bob encounter before actually reconditioning the launch pad, but apparently no, we get to do this now. So we're gonna try and make the ancient probe intercept Bob to make a quick buck on the already accepted contract. This is a simulation? What? No, I don't want this to be a simulation. Close. Come on, take me back to the space center. This is going all sorts of wrong. No, no, no. No simulations. How then shall we do it? This has reverted lots of things. Alright. This is still progressing. Let's see, if I jump to ship, then please don't tell me it's a simulation. That would be horrible. This is the real world. There we go. And we have our original maneuver node, so all is well. Let's aim at said maneuver node. Now remember, if you watched the last episode, and if you haven't, I suggest you do, because it was fun. We launched a shipyard, which we're now having trouble with. This burn is just to insert ourselves into dual orbit, into a wide orbit, from which we will then eventually attempt to, well, match course with Bob. So hey, look at that, there's Jewel. Hi Jewel, and some moons. We're just gonna do this on instrumentation because, frankly, it's a chore and it's fun to muck about with this ancient probe. Whoa, the volume is pretty high. Let's turn that down. I've turned it down in my room, I think. I can't go into the audio options because then the recording will crash. I hope you can still hear me. Anyway, here we are doing the burn. This is actually pretty reminiscent of what I built to explore Gilly. This was 600 meters per second, so that takes care of that. That's previous knowledge applied into new concepts, but never mind, we can't build that yet because, well, the shipyard engineers are too stupid. Now this is another long coast out. This is the point where we will match inclinations with Bob and attempt a rendezvous. Oh, that's already pretty good actually. That's the closest approach of 100,000 kilometers. So yeah, We'll make this work. How much meters per second is this? How much delta V? 54. We can do that. Alright. We'll disable this node and make a new alarm. In 38 days. Wonderful. This might even happen this episode. Alright, back to the Space Center. Let's recondition the launch pad and get KenLan out there to get some experience. I have a feeling that things might finally start coming together for this crazy space program. Launchpad reconditioning, warp to completion. Right on. By the way, the next science goal I have is ion propulsion, I think, unless I remember something that I've forgotten now, to make even smaller, nicer probes. Right, let's now roll it out, warp to completion of the rollout. Now there is a danger, and that's that I have no idea what this ship looked like and if it had any idiosyncrasies? Yeah, if it had any idiosyncrasies that I need to be aware of. So we're gonna find out whilst flying it. Now the name of it is Careful, which is a little bit ominous. We shall see, we shall see. Launch. KenLan is at the helm. Great. If we had more than one seat, I would definitely give it, but we don't. I hope it has a parachute, and I also hope it has life support, because this trip could be fairly lengthy. It does have a ooh, no, don't use physics warp, be careful. Does it have life support? Screw you, build list. It does. We'll be fine. Alright, let's time warp to daylight, as we are wont to do. So remember, the itinerary here is a orbit of the moon, a landing on Minmus, and then a quick jaunt out into solar orbit, and a return to Kerbin. Now this ship was called the Careful, so I'm going to launch full throttle, and keep pointing straight up most of the time, and I'll wait until I'm at a fairly decent altitude before attempting to either pitch over or break the sound barrier. So I'm going to throttle back now, let the boosters do most of the work. And by the way, this episode will involve jumps in the editing. I won't slog through the whole endeavor with you because, well, I've done about 300 videos now, and most of them have these bits in them. Jeez, I really should work on getting a larger audience, because either my videos suck or they're very niche, and either way I don't really care because it's my hobby. But hey, if millions of people would enjoy it, it would be rude not to share. That's for you viewers. Well, share with all your gaming buddies if you have them. Who cares? I don't care. Look at that. Massive engine flames. We are going to break the sound barrier whether we want to or not, so might as well throttle up and get through with it. Well, we did. It's 12 kilometers now. It doesn't feel very careful. This rocket is it flies really well. It behaves great. Oh, I suddenly remembered. The Careful refers to the peeling off of the fairing of the nuclear engine, so that doesn't actually explode the ship. Yeah, I'll be careful with that, no worries. We're burning up on exiting the atmosphere. That's properly enthusiastic. Let's see, pitching over a bit. Actually, let's ditch the engine and get rid of the boosters. Rely on some aerodynamic drag to get them away from the ship. And firing the engine to get away from them ourselves. Yeah, so far so good. Everything's going really smoothly. Right, let's get rid of the fairing. Explosive success. We even have parachutes. What about that? This ship is the bomb. It really works. It's proven technology, apart from its landing legs. That's really not so proven. But then again, Minmus has really low gravity, so that should actually be fine. Cool. Are we going to get into orbit? I did make a very steep ascent, but it doesn't really matter, I don't think. I'm gonna wait with peeling off these fairings until, well, at least until we're done with the main burn here. This should put us into orbit. Nearest makes no difference. Cool. Let's separate. Here we are, separated. Oh, what? I just wasn't careful. That was stupid. Alright, I have to jettison this. Be careful. And jettison that, also be careful. Hey, and it worked out. And now firing the engine should work. Yeah, there we are. There we are. Flying on nuclear power. Wonderful. Well, of course we didn't bring a pilot because KenLan isn't actually a pilot. It is a shame that he has to land back on Kerbin to get his stars. Otherwise we could dock him with the future station. Oh well, we'll stick him on the first resupply runner then. Alright. Let's stop for a second and take stock. We do want to get into orbit. We also want to go to the moon. So we're going to time warp to Apoapsis whilst keeping an eye out for that moon. Hey, there it is. We should be able to insert ourselves into a transfer trajectory from this position. Let's see, we are a little bit higher than usual for this trick. So let's actually... Where the hell are we? We don't have an icon, great. Why don't we have an icon? The capsule icon is missing, okay. That's weird. We had this problem before. I don't know how that happened. Anyway, here we go for a lunar orbit. Wonderful. It's 1,000 meters per second. No, of course we weren't actually in orbit. Cool. I will establish lunar orbit and check back in with you then because it will take a while. See you around the moon. Yeah. Alright, quick update. We're in orbit around the moon, as you can see by that cratered landscape lit by a moon-set sun crowding out Kerbin. Pretty image if you ask me. Yeah, we can even see it through the spaceship. Oh yeah. Right, now to plot a course to Minmus so KenLan may land there to learn essential basics of orbital spaceship engineering. Yeah, it's not always logical. I'll plot a course and update you. Alright, the situation is as follows. We've left the moon behind. We did a few burns in space. We are now at the almost exact altitude that Minmus is at, but with the slight complication that Minmus is on the other side of the system. Look at that. We are here, Minmus is there. We will fix this with the careful application of 20 meters per second of delta V, which will sling us around Kerbin at a mere altitude of 6,500 kilometers, which will allow our circuit to happen in half the time as Minmus circuit does, which will lead to an encounter in 19 days. You will observe that probe Eeloo has a move coming up in 17 days, so shortly we will be checking back with probe Eeloo, see how that thing is doing. A problem is that I have absolutely no idea where my... Well, I have an idea where my ship is. It's here at the disappearing blue line, but the icon appears to be gone. Now my install is so old and it has an amount of mods and up and outdated things that I don't really dare tinker with it anymore. It works nicely the way it does, apart from, well, the obviously missing icons. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. It is a bit annoying. Cool. Anyway, let's have a quick excursion to the probe Eeloo, which has been doing stellar work in the Joule system in approaching Bob. Let's see, here it is. Its maneuver node has been restored, but I'm not sure if it has been remembered. Yes, it has 50 meters per second, which would then take us right near Bob, if I recall correctly. Or is this... No, this icon is in fact there, present and accounted for. But why am I then not encountering Bob? Oh, there it is. It is just very, very finicky. Of course, that's because Bob is genuinely really, really small. We may even get away with a landing on it, on the engine bell. Now that would be something. 1,500 kilometers, is it 1,500 kilometers or 1,500 meters? Yeah, 1,500 kilometers away, and yet still not in the sphere of influence. I think Bob possibly has the smallest sphere of influence of anybody. Anyway, let's do the burn. This will be a quick burn, so let's try and get it right on the money. That's 3 minutes. We have to time warp away, and we'll do it. We'll engage thrusters at -5 seconds. At least we'll try for that. And now we're gonna get the thing. Ooh, the next thing on our calendar is 1 year and 76 days from now. That's when our base lander gets to Eeloo. Now, we've been glossing over the landing of bases, and especially on Eeloo, but that is going to be as exciting as well. Voodoo Scanner is one of the ships from the same generation as this one. Will only get there like last. We missed our window, so we're going to go for T+5 instead. Go. Boom, 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 boom. Stop. Well, closest approach is, well, this is the actual closest approach is gonna be 13,000 kilometers, and we're gonna be passing by pretty quickly as well, because, well, let's face it, ooh, that takes 205 days until we're actually there. Because let's face it, the speed difference is gonna be huge. Hey, we can make that speed difference a little bit not as huge. 400 meters per second may be stretching it. No, we will try at, say, this point to fine-tune the encounter so that we actually will make it. Can we still do that from here is the question. Not really, we have to do it from up here probably. Or we have to do it from where we're at now. That seemed to work out pretty well. From the descending node, that's always a good one. It's 0.6 degrees separation. That is something that we could fix. Let's actually fix that just to make sure that we're on target. Jeez, this is so sensitive. Come on, just a sliver. Yeah, let's save it like that. This burn will now happen in 20 more days, so we will once again add this to the calendar, and we will switch back. Hey, I didn't add anything to the calendar for that other thing. Ooh, that's bad. Let's go through the Space Center and head back to our intrepid KenLan Explorer. Let's see, tracking station here. Whoomp, whoomp, whoomp. We called that the Careful, if I recall. Where is our ship, the Careful? Oh, what happened? I'm not trusting my mouse particularly much. Oh, we're at the future now. That's well enough. Let's focus view on the moon. Oh no, we're not at the moon. We are... Oh yeah, we can't click on it because there's no icon for it. That's the problem. We're gonna have to pick it from a list, I'm afraid. I would like to fix those icons. If anyone knows how to fix those icons, maybe I should just install a mod that makes different icons, but that feels like fixing a problem for the sake of it. Alright, just show me ships then. No, show me only ships. The Careful. Hey, here's the icon. Did I get it back? Did I just set it? I set it to not display. Cool. I feel 80 years old. This was really dumb. Oh well, I'll blame the painkillers. I'm high apparently. Do I have the... I have the icon now, of course I do. Right. Minmus Periapsis. We're gonna come in for a landing. I'm gonna set up that landing and then I will check back in with you so you can enjoy the crashing. See you near the surface. The surface over here. Yeah. Right on, there we are. Snap zoom to that surface. We're still at more than half of our fuel. This is both good and bad. It's good for the obvious reason that we won't have to worry about our Delta V running out anytime soon. It's bad for the reason that our ship is still relatively heavy. It's only powered by the single nuclear engine, and well, it may have trouble shifting all the mass of this craft. I hope it will be fine, and meters per second left to scrub, and then we're gonna land on this wall of ice. We don't really care where to land. I mean, we are now coming in for a landing, definitely. But as I said, we don't really care where. We just want to land. We want to get KenLan out there and have him hop up and down a few bits so that he can, well, get those fabled experience points, which will allow him to build rockets in our orbital shipyard. And then he is never allowed off that shipyard anymore. But don't tell him that because, well, we want him to be a happy worker with dreams for the future. But we will instead lock him inside the reactor cubicle that, well, he'll be the only Kerbal that can build spaceships in orbit, which will make him fairly valuable. Alright. I'm being very careful, probably too careful even for a minimus landing, but as I said, we need this guy alive. This is an expensive mission. Our funds are actually looking okay, but we have a lot of obligations to fulfill, and we only have one more contract slot, so actually we're living on borrowed money. That's why I'm time warping towards the ground, because it's really important that everything goes smoothly, and also I'm very impatient to start cracking with that orbital shipyard. And we still have to visit the sun. Well, not actually visit the sun, but we still have to get into a solar orbit, leave the sphere of influence of Kerbin, and get back and then crash. Well, crashing back at Kerbin will be relatively easy, but you know what I mean. Actually coming in from, I just thought of that, coming in from a solar altitude, well, coming in from way outside the sphere of influence of Kerbin, it may be a little bit tough on the heat shield. This is where our ample supply of delta V will come in, because that will allow us to slow down a little bit before actually slamming into the atmosphere. Slowing down is what we do best. Here we go. Slowing down to 10 meters per second. I'm trying to get a feel for the dynamics of this lander. I don't know why I ever tried and land this on the moon. That now that I'm having a fairly modest deceleration here on Minmus, I'm wondering. That was well, there's no other way to put it. It was grossly negligent. This Kerbal didn't have to die. Alright, look at that. There's our shadow. I checked in the VAB, our landing legs are in fact lower than the engine bell, fairly important for a successful landing that leaves the return capability intact as well. Ooh. Let's not come down at 5 meters per second. That's, I mean, this engine is low thrust, we should be able to calibrate it to a constant downwards velocity. Here we go, just had to check the door for a sec. Thought I heard a burglar. But no, nothing there. Good timing there on the weird apartment noises. I got distracted. We are doing a Minmus landing. Almost. This is crazy secure for a Minmus landing. Touching down at less than a meter per second, that's nuclear precision right here. Get it? Nuclear precision. Nuclear things are small. Precision implies small tolerances. We have a nuclear engine. Oh, haha, the witchiness. Cool. Crew report. No. KenLan, get your experience points. Plant a flag. Don't stay outside too long. There's lots of radiation here from the nuclear engine. Don't kill yourself doing somersaults either. Please. Plant flag. This is educational. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. Educational. That meant to be the other way around, but here we go. Surface sample. Yeah, 150 science if we report. Oh yeah, because the capability to do surface samples is new. EVA report. Nothing new here. Let's turn our helmet lights on and take back off. Oh hey, we have a thermometer as well. Let's use that. Come on, get in there. Hey, KenLan will probably also be the first Kerbal ever to get outside of Kerbin's sphere of influence. That's a first. That's gonna be great. Let's lock the temperature. Keep it. Yes. Now do we have to climb outside and grab it? I think we do. Can we grab it from here? Oh god. No! Come on, KenLan. Just a few more days and then we can lock you up in a cubicle and build spaceships. You don't have to go outside ever again. Just hang in there, please. Yes, well done. Grab it. Board. Right, fire the engines. Now we need to get out of here in such a way that we will go to solar escape velocity. Actually, Minmus is so slow it really doesn't matter which way we go. Full thrust. Ooh, nice taking off graphics. We will head in the 90-degree direction. There we go. Apparently we're heading in the 270-degree direction. Also fine. And let's take a temperature reading here. Oh, look at that. That apparently hadn't been done before. Cool, we're getting temperature measurements. Let's actually just send that on. And log the temperature again. And save it that time. Now, where are we going? We are proceeding into interplanetary space by just burning the engine from this point. We are facing away from Kerbin. Yes, and we are going in this direction. It would have been better to go the other direction, would have saved like 50 meters per second, but can't do that anymore, so it doesn't even really matter. We're drifting to one side. I wonder, is there a fuel imbalance happening? Yes, yes there is. We have problems with our fuel. Oh wait, probably? Here on this side, the bottom tank is dry. Here on this side, the bottom tank is also dry. Top tank is full. Top tank is full. Top is full. Bottom is dry. So apart from our reserve fuel here, we are at halfway fuel. Well, we've done most of our delta V intensive things, so that's actually fine. Look, now we have to expand this to, well, to actually leave Kerbin's sphere of influence. Maybe, what is Minmus's orbital velocity? I thought it was only like 80 meters per second. 200. So it would have been better to turn around. This cost 520 meters per second of delta V. Oh well. We are equal right about now. Yeah. And then now we have to build up to actually leave the sphere of influence. Oh well, that was stupid. Doesn't matter. Oh, we have to go outside and grab the temperature scan. I really don't want to. We'll grab it from interplanetary space. Actually, I think. Hey, there we go. Let's turn off our engines. Kerbin escape in 20 days. Let's fire our engines and make that happen a little bit before that probe Eeloo thing. 15 days, yes. So we'll get there and then turn around. So and our indicators will be messed up from switching spheres of influence. So let's turn around now, wait until our instruments say we are in interplanetary space, and then just fire the engines to go backwards. Yeah, cool. Let's time warp towards this sphere of influence change. Kerbin escape. Kerbin escape, 10 days from now. And whilst in solar space, we will do a crew report, a EVA report, and a temperature scan. Yeah. That sounds good. Oh, we're so far away from the mother planet. And then we're gonna thrust back to it. And remember, we'll keep our attitude, and that will help in the navigation. 40 minutes. We are now Not yet. We are now officially in solar space. Actually, no. Now we are officially in solar space. Cool. Yeah, you're furthest away from all. Like all the. I can't speak anymore. 10 science from a crew report. Well, we'll transmit that home anyway. Actually, let's not risk running out of juice here through the transmitting. We'll grab an EVA report. Yeah, we'll keep that. We'll also grab the thermometer data. Take the data, store the data, get back inside, and now we will grab a thermometer reading. Oh, we already did this with a probe, obviously. Alright, then we'll just fire our engines and get back to Kerbin, which I suppose ought to happen by thrusting in this direction. Let's try that with some physics warps. Yes, we want this. Oh, come on. Show me the way back to Kerbin, baby. Yeah, here it's happening. Kerbin periapsis, this will happen in what? 400 days? No thanks, we need it faster. Yes, we need this. Yeah, we need it immediately. Here we go. Kerbin encounter in 2 hours. This is what we need. Get us out of this scary interplanetary space. Boom, boom, boom. Hell yeah. I have no idea what's going on here I can't select. I'm very unhappy with the trajectory system. It is not serving my wishes. Alright, 21 days to Kerbin periapsis. Kerbin escape, we will need to thrust the retrograde a little bit. Boom, full thrust on the retros. I don't know how this figures that we're gonna escape Kerbin now that we are traveling at 30 meters per second down towards the planet. So let's actually just warp a little bit and see what happens. What is it gonna do? Exactly, there we are. Kerbin periapsis 400 kilometers. Let's go forwards a little bit and we will now reduce that further. 40 kilometers, I think that's a good way to start, and then we will well, let's see if we can. Oh, because it's still hyperbolic, we cannot actually make a maneuver node. Alright, this will happen in 18 days. 18 days. We will do the probe Eeloo thing, because that needs a small correction now to get to Bob. And then we will take care of this landing. Let's see, that's 5 minutes from now. Jump to that ship. It's a bit back and forth this episode, but we are doing cool stuff if you ask me. Working on the future. Where are we here? We have to do a 2.5 meters per second burn in 7.5 minutes. This is going to be incredibly precise, just to nail it to Bob. Alright, so let's do time warp like a maniac to that precise moment. I think that's the best course of action, very clearly. Right, it's doing it for me, thanks. Yeah, give me the window, the annoying window. 50 seconds to go. Let's time warp, because otherwise I'm getting bored. Can get really bored in 10 seconds. Alright, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Here we go. Super precise. No? Yes. Alright, not a transfer window, a sphere of influence window change. Let's see, sphere of influence 100, this is the one. Probe Eeloo to Bob. Cool, add the alarm there. What, that's 186 days, that's nuts. Alright, back to the space center to bring home KenLan. Let's hope it works. We're coming in at 40 kilometers. That's, I think, a little bit conservative. Might mean we have to do 2 passes, but it will mean that we're not going to crash back to we're not going to crash back out of Kerbin's sphere of influence. That will be fine. So I don't dare hit warp to periapsis, and I'm going to do a quick save just to be sure, because with a hyperbolic orbit like this it is very easy to over warp and then in one tick it is back here and flying out of the solar system, which is actually impossible because, well, it just forgot to simulate the atmosphere in between then. And it's, well, it's not very nice, nor is it very realistic, and it would screw everything up. Leaf's capsule is actually a nuclear reactor. Bit of trivia there. Now, before crashing into the atmosphere at a tremendous speed, I'm going to turn around and fire the engine to slow down. Now it's not going to do a lot because, let's face it, the nuclear engine is not going to, well, it's just not a very powerful engine. That's the problem. But still, here we go. Full burn on the deceleration. We're at 350 kilometers of altitude, and if we manage to pull off this landing, then KenLan will be our most experienced Kerbal, if the internet's correct, that is. Am I actually... Ooh, I'm 28 kilometers now. I'm gonna stop this deceleration, because this is now suddenly becoming a fairly hectic re-entry. Well, we'll see how that goes. We'll enter at, what's it gonna be? 3,200 meters per second. This is actually pretty fine. Hey, there's the KSC, we're passing right overhead. Alright, let's not muck about with nuclear reactors exploding in our face. Let's just ditch these, get away from them. I think that's a good strategy, to get away from the debris. And let's also get away from the nuclear reactor. Actually, we aren't getting away from that at all. We are now tumbling and actually burning up. This is not good. We need to face retrograde. We need to face like this. Okay, that was very close and very dangerous. Fortunately, we have our heat shield. Oh god. Oh, that was actually a worst case scenario. It's not the engine. The engine is actually over there. We're going at 3 kilometers per second through the atmosphere. Unfortunately not exploding. We're also not decelerating that quickly. We're still at 3,200 meters per second. Our heat shield is actually ablating. That's all good. Our parachute is still intact. That's also good. The big question, our periapsis was 28 kilometers. It's now 20 kilometers. So there's no question, we will actually re-enter. We're not going to go out. I think it's impossible to slam into the atmosphere, go down to 20 kilometers and go back out. Well, of course, it's possible if you go fast enough, but then I question which material you're going to bring so as to not disintegrate. Point is, I think our re-entry trajectory is dead on. We're now decelerated to regular orbital velocity at 23 kilometers of altitude, so that's quick. Our heat shield is at 75% integrity with a 16-point safety margin, and we are approaching the desert countries. We're now at 21 kilometers. G-forces are 4. Our heat shield isn't really ablating any further, so that was really... I don't know when that happened. Maybe during the tumble? Anyway, we're approaching safe areas of speed, pressure, and heat. 1,200 meters per second isn't crazy. We've reached that on ascent at this altitude. Our heat shield is doing fine. We are going to parachute gently down into the desert beaches. We're at Mach 3-ish. Going to go subsonic soon, and then we'll deploy the parachute. 10 kilometers of altitude. KenLan is happy. He spent 65 days in space, visited 2 celestial bodies, walked on one of them, and went and set the distance record for a unmanned flight in this space program. Nothing to scoff at, if you ask me. Let's deploy the parachute. And... oh god! Parachutes destroyed by aero forces and heat? What? Is 200 meters per second not safe for parachutes? How the hell? Come on, KenLan, get outside. Come on, go for that crazy headbutt. How did I do that again? Make him go upside down, please. Come on. How the hell did this happen? Yes, come on, make the head bounce. Come on, KenLan, you're an engineer. Explain to me how this works. Come on, die, don't die. Whoa! Alright, we'll pretend that he jury-rigged a personal re-entry system from the crashing, burning plane and grabbed a bit of parachute. Alright, if you don't tell, I won't tell. We'll never talk about this again. Alright, recover KenLan. I hope he gets experience for this. Crew? Recovery of a vessel that survived the flight. Advanced to level 3. Well, that actually happened. Whoa. I'm going to ponder that for a while. Orbit around the sun, 6 points. Planet Legomin, 6 points. Orbit around the moon, 3 points. Orbit around Kerbin, 2 points. Cool, cool, cool. And let's keep in mind to deploy parachutes only when they're good and low. Well, I'm gonna upload this video and design a resupply ship which will carry KenLan and some supplies to the space station in the future. Check back next episode. Thanks for watching. I love you too. Goodbye.